This is Dana, and I am coming in for a live. I have not had time to do updates, and I've decided like I'm gonna really try my absolute hardest to do at least a video a week. Especially as I now try to really like figure out like what I want to do here. So before I get into the updates, welcome to my channel. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to be sitting here working and giving you an update on what I have going on. I'm going to try to be able to view the comments on my laptop, but if I don't, I will come back later and respond to the comments because I haven't quite figured out how to do all that yet. So with that said, that's what we have going on. What's going on my table? This view always looks crazy because I'm sitting at my table that I work at. And right now, I am set up to do I want to work on some watercolor. So I'll explain that in a second. So actually, I'm going to explain that and then I'll get into the updates. So I started, well, let me back up. Because of doing, I kind of told you guys in the last live that I was doing a personal curriculum. Listen, people call it a personal curriculum. I've been doing it a long time, but it's a nice, fun buzzword, and y'all, it's fun to do. Go back and look at the last live. But part of that, I am in my first watercolor class. And I say first, but I've done others, but this is the first time I'm doing it like this. I'm gonna try to see, oh, let me show you. It's a watercolor class that's being done with Willa Wonders. Let me get it, y'all. I didn't plan to do this. She has this class going on. I just put all my stuff in here. And it's called Wild Watercolor with Elaine. And you honestly don't have to have the book. They give you everything that you need, including sketches, but we're going to be doing most of the pictures in or projects in this book. And the class is once a week. And we started last week. So while I do the update today, I'm going to be working on some of that. I'll show you what we did in the first week. And then I'll tell you what I'm working on. The first week, we did 3 paintings, which I thought was, listen, I felt like it was going so fast. And I realized how much I do not know. I'm totally new to watercolor. And, hold on, I'm trying to get them out of this box. It hit me after I did the class that I'd worked with watercolor before, but my previous work with watercolor was on a different kind of paper. It was on Bible paper. All of the watercolors that I've done in the past, like as far as a project was done on Bible paper. So now to be doing it on watercolor paper, trying to get better like at the brush, management of water, picking out colors, like it was quite a bit. So here are the 3 paintings that we did. Here's the first, well, let me see, what was the order? We did, okay, we did this one first. And then we did this one. It's supposed to be like a mountain or, I don't know. I'm going to say it's supposed to be a mountain. I don't know. Listen, it was all moving so fast that I was just following directions and trying not to mess it up, okay? So here's this one. And then this is the last one. This is the one where I felt like I needed the most help. And there was a couple things that I did wrong. But the more I look at it, the more it grows on me. And so those were the paintings that we did. A couple things happened while we were doing that. I realized I need to practice basic brush strokes. I also need to do swatches of my paints because I did not do that. Y'all, I was just looking. Baby, that was the wrong answer because just looking at the colors and once you dip it in there and you put it in and instead of it being blue, it's purple. So I was all over the place and not in a good way. And then on top of that, we needed to like get a big brush so that we could do like a wash. Y'all, I did not have a wash brush. And because I didn't have a wash brush, all I had was this. and the and the only reason why I had this brush was because when I saw it in the art store, I was like, "Ooh, I just wanted to say I have a big ass brush." Y'all, I use this brush too. So listen, it came in clutch because um I honestly had no idea what I was doing. Okay, so I think I I got these new brushes and I feel like, oh, you know what? If I'm gonna do swatches, I think having the square brush would be so much better. I mean, a flat brush. I'm gonna use a flat brush. I don't know if this is right. Honestly, I'm figuring this out as I go. I'm gonna have this. I think all of them are size 8s. It looks like they almost all are size 8s. Okay. I'm gonna just pick out a couple and then I'm just gonna feel my way through the process after that. So I realized as I was doing it that I really needed to swatch, and I want to swatch while I update you guys on what I got going on. And I think doing the swatches will help me. My next class is on it's on Tuesday, I think. And I really would like to redo all 3 of those paintings again. I don't know if I'll have time to do that. But yeah, so I'll show you the brushes. I have my water. I have my, y'all, I have my dirty water. And then I have my clean water. And then I also have this. I like this little one. And then I have just a spray bottle. I just spray this to wet the paints. And then I have several watercolor palettes, if you will. Yeah, I don't know what I was doing. I think I was just accumulating them, or I would have them on my birthday list or Mother's Day list. And over time, I started getting them. And I would use some of these and mix them with the watercolor pencils when I do my Bible journaling. And I was able to pull them out, and so now I'm using them. And honestly, a lot of them, I just want to use them up and just have fun and learn. So let me show you the ones that I plan to swatch today. I have 1, 2, 3. I have 4 different palettes that I really would like to do, but I don't know if I'll be able to. So I have this palette, and this is, yeah, I don't know what it's called. It's called something, Karataki. These colors were so pretty. The pigment was good. And so I need to swatch these, and I already have the watercolor in here, paper, and then I'm going to just tape it in there, I think. Or no, I'll probably glue it in there. So that's one. I have this palette. This palette is the Koi watercolors. Oh, sorry. I have this one. Again, this is one of those ones that it's a traveler set. I've had it for a while. I think I've only used it maybe like 3 or 4 times, so I'll be doing that. I do have some colors on here which are the primary colors, but I'm not going to swatch those. I've been using those, so I don't have to be concerned with that. I don't know that I'll get to this palette today because it's so many colors, but I have this. And honestly, I feel like this palette, when I get ready to do these colors, I think I want to do this one in my watercolor journal. These colors are so pretty. And then if you can't see it, but right in here, they're like pearl, like really like shimmery. They're so pretty. I don't know how well they've done. I've done this one a couple times, but since I couldn't really tell the difference in the colors, I just stopped. So, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I think what I'm gonna do is, well, there's this little plastic thing in here, and I'll figure it out. I have my watercolor journal, and I also have a watercolor journal, like a big one that I could do it in. So I have this set. And then the final set, and I'm almost certain I won't get to this, I got these a long time ago from Temu. And what's really cool about these, let me open it, is you can open it and the colors are on the little things. See that? And they're like by color sets. So it says it has 42 colors. So I have that. And I'm gonna mix. Well, I don't think I'm gonna mix. But if I need to, I use this. I love using this. And I have my ceramic mixing, but these are not for a particular palette, but some colors I was using on another project. So I don't think I'm going to use these today at all. I'm trying to get used to which ones I like for which projects, but I just keep this wrapped in the bubble so that all of that glass won't bump around. And then I also love mixing on this, which is just a ceramic tile. So those two are probably what I'll use today. So I'm going to move these guys out of the way. And then the final thing that I have, y'all have like a whole bunch of little bit. Oh, I also have this palette. Now this palette, I think it's Arteza. I bought this purely because it is a full set of blues, greens, and teals. I think one of these colors, I think this one is purple. I don't know, which is why I need to do a swatch. So I kind of feel like as I say that, I really should put them all in that book. The other thing that I didn't say I have is just a towel, paper towels. Oh, and this is another one of my mixing that I love this set. In here, I keep my primary colors, and my primary colors are all Daniel Smith colors. So I have 3 primaries and a black. And then I also have one additional empty container that I eventually want to use for my mother blend. And right now it's dirty because I picked the wrong color when I was mixing the other day. And I just decided to keep using it until it was all gone. Okay, so now what I need to do is I'm going to just move a couple of things. I don't think I'm going to do any mixing because I'm just going to swatch. I pulled out several brushes and I don't know which one I'm going to use because I don't know the difference. I just am literally going by size. So, but I think what I'm going to use is this flat, which is a size 8. And then I also have the size 4 in a fusion brush. This one is just it's called Transin. I bought it on Amazon. I bought, I think, all of them except for this one. I bought this one at the art supply store. This one is a size 8 as well. And then I have a couple of others. I don't think I'm going to use those. I think I'm going to work with these 3. But I'm going to just keep the others just in case so I don't have to find them. The other thing that I have is a dropper. I find that I like using this to drop fresh water on the palette, especially if I'm doing these swatches. So what I'm going to do is grab some paper. I was going to get that book, but I don't really know what I'm doing. So since I don't know what I'm doing, I'm going to just get this. These are just individual sheets of watercolor paper. Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Like, if it turns when it turns out really good, I would like them all together so that I can reference them in the future. So, but I'm trying to guard from doing it wrong. But I need to stop thinking like that. Okay, let me grab the book. I'm sorry, y'all. I have to lean in front of the camera. Okay. I have this. This is a visual journal. It's a Strathmore 140-pound watercolor paper. It's 44 pages or 22 sheets. It was on sale. No, it was when I went to go to the art supply store, and I thought, oh, this is nice. And the pages are really big, and it's like a hard cover. I'm going to use this because it's also big enough that I can come back in and write. I feel like I want to draw the blocks on. Okay, I'm sorry. All right, I'm set up, and now that I'm set up, I'll do the rest of the updates, I think. Okay, I'm gonna do this palette first because this is the one that I'm using for the class, and then if I don't finish the others, it'll be okay. Y'all, low-key, I don't really know what I'm doing. I do have a piece of paper in here for this one, but I'll do it next time. I haven't seen any comments come through, but if something pops up, I also have coffee, my favorite Starbucks coffee, which is called Toasted Graham. It's one of my favorites. Okay, there are 24 colors in this. I am going to spray them, or do I want to drop? I like using the dropper because it feels like you can control it more, but it always feels like it's so much water. I'm going to just use the dropper. And then I'll just put up a few drops in each one. I'm all saying, okay, one of the things that I don't know about watercolor, because it's all so new to me, it's like, if you keep adding this water to the watercolor, doesn't that eventually like change? But I know you don't have a choice, but it's like, won't that change? Whether it's the pigment or the something? So, this water, I don't know if it makes a difference, but I use distilled water. That's why I like having it in the container. And I keep distilled water nearby. In my dirty and clean water, I just use regular tap water though. Honestly, I don't know why. I should do it all the way across the board, but I don't. So that's just, it is what it is. Okay, and I will not dip my brush in my coffee. I will not do it. So that means I have to drink with my wrong hand because I do not want to dip it in my coffee. Okay, I think I'm set up for real. I'm going to try it with this brush, which is the flat brush. I think it'll help me make rectangles. And I'm going to choose to do 1 page per, I mean, like, if I go to a new palette, I'm going to change the page so that I'll be able to do basically a brand per page. That one that has like, I don't know, I think it must be like 48 colors. That would have to take several pages, but I'm not gonna mix them. Okay. This makes me so nervous. Okay. So now to the other updates. This is all been watercolor. That was not my intent. I see you guys here. Welcome. As far as my plans to with my personal curriculum, the first thing was this, which was watercolor. What I decided to do was take a class so that I could do something. Oh, I have no idea. This makes me so nervous. So I decided to, ooh, I did way too much, y'all. Way too much. And it's super like, and it is super pigmented. Oh, well. But doing it with this brush, it does really well. Oh, oh. Oh no, where is it? I'm so sorry. Y'all, we gotta move. I'm sorry, we gotta move. I'm looking for, I was thinking about doing a sidekick journal, and I thought I had found a journal to put it in, but I changed my mind because the paper wasn't watercolor paper. So, you know what I'm gonna do? What did I thought I picked one out. Since I didn't, I have some pre-cut papers in here. Oh, I know what I'll do. I know what I'll do. The reason why, y'all, I don't like whenever you get ready to change colors and then you just put it in that water and you swashing around all your color. So I'm just gonna, any leftover paint that I have, I'm just gonna put it on another another piece of watercolor paper and just let it be, and let it be something that I can use to practice like doodling on, or like practice, in this case, maybe gradients or other colors. Maybe even a little bit of, ooh, I'm gonna put a little bit on my what is it called? Mixer. Ooh, okay. So I took the class. The class was great. Another thing that I did over this week, or in the past 2 weeks, is I went through a lot of the books and stuff that I had. I always, by default, will go towards buying a book when I want to learn something new. I said this before, that I learned how to do like my crochet, knitting, quilting, all first by looking at it in a book. So I had books that had like different tutorials, different activities, different projects. And what I did last weekend was I went through all of those books, and the first thing that I did is I went through and I turned them all into spiral bound books, and I organized them. So I realized I had books that had watercolor. I had books that had, yeah, this is what I did. I had books that had watercolor. I had, what was the other? It was, what was it? watercolor, lettering, drawing, like doodling drawing. Um, and so what I did is I put them all, we rebound them, I cut the spines, and I turned them into spiral bound books. And then I kind of organized them in order. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just start going through one book at a time once I get on the other side of this class. And it made it feel like less overwhelming, but also that I was using some of the resources and tools that I already had, you know? So I organized those. I think these colors always look so much alike. And so I did that as well. And it turned out good because I felt like it showed me that, you know, I had resources and I didn't have to overwhelm myself. And then I think with the drawing, I also had things like doodling, but like Zentangle. And then, so I separate those as well. So I'll be going through those. Okay, I'm gonna go to this other color. Y'all, these are so, like, I don't know. Are you supposed to like clean your brush off in the pen? Listen, y'all, I am trying. Ooh, that one's pretty. I'll show you in a little bit. So I did that. The other thing, oh, now I want to tell you about the update on my projects, my quilt projects. Y'all, this flat brush is the truth. It makes it like look like I know what I'm doing. I really need to find another like a sketchbook, like a watercolor sketchbook for the sidekick. But for now, okay, I'm gonna tell you about my quilting. This week, I am finishing the last block on my potato chip quilt. I talked a little bit about it last time, and I'm so excited because when I laid out the blocks that I had 24 blocks, and the potato chip quilt that I finished, it was finishing at about a 12 and a half, like a 12 and a half inch block. So that meant that it was a little bit wonky doing it a 4x6 like I originally planned. So what I did instead was I decided to make one more block so that it would make it 5x5. And so I finished that block. So then that means the block that I'm working right now, I plan to make it the center block. Oh, this one is so pretty. This is like really thick. It reminds me of like a thin acrylic. I don't know if that's supposed to be that way, but it does make it easier to control. So I guess I'm not complaining, but it does seem weird. This is those, what is it called? I think it was Karataki. So I am working on that. And what I decided is because this year I want to move into working on my kits. Y'all, I have a lot of kits. I either have kits or block of months, and I want to work on those. And because I want to work on those, I am not going to start any more additional projects. So what I decided is I'm going to go in and I'm going to try my best to finish all of the potato chip blocks that I have previously cut, except for ones that are truly outliers. I have a lot of outliers that are, what was it called? From, I'm trying not to mix this water. I had some outliers like from when I was doing the my picnic quilt. So it's like with little ants and little bugs, and it's a lot of like red and black colors. So I'm skipping over those, but I'm going to, oh, this one is really thick. Y'all, I really feel like I should have put more water in it, but I don't want to put a whole bunch of water because all I'm doing is swatching. I don't know if this is right. I've put in my mind that if it's wrong, I'll just have to buy a new palette. I mean, the only way I'm going to learn is to do it. So I had to just, this yellow is beautiful. Look how pretty it is. That's a pretty yellow. So, so I'm working on that. So what I'm going to do with those extra blocks though, I'm going to do a piano border. So I'm literally going to just sew all of them in a long, super long strip, but not on the short side, on the long side. And I once took this borders class, and one of the things that she taught us in that borders class, her name was Winnie. Miss Winnie taught us in that borders class that when we prepared strips, like you would know the rough count based on your measurements, but we would just do a whole long strip, and then when you got the number that you needed, you would just pluck out the seams and you would use that. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to sew them all together, and then I'm going to, y'all, let me tell you something. Y'all should have said, Dana, don't wet all the colors at once. Y'all didn't tell me that. Y'all supposed to be helping me. Y'all supposed to help me be a buddy to your buddy, okay? You know what? Maybe I just put one drop. One drop turns into three. How? I don't know. It just multiplies like that. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to just put them all together, and I'm going to, this is so pretty. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to start putting that border on. I mean, that piano border. Now, when I do the piano border, I will be separating it from the rest of the quilt, since technically it will be going in a different direction. And hopefully, my hope is that when it's all said and done, that I will have used up the majority, except for the colors that are, oh, that's a pretty yellow, that are like the picnic ones. And I've decided with the picnic ones, I honestly think I'm going to cut them down and do them all into 2-inch squares, because then I can store them in a container with all the other 2 inches, and then I can move on. But it will finish that, and that means the complete top will be done. The other, ooh, y'all, I need to just start setting up my overhead camera, y'all, but that's really not my, y'all, if y'all see what I'm doing, y'all be like, she does not know what she is doing. I'm gonna just start holding it up. It's not dry though, and I don't know if it'll run, because I don't know it. Y'all, I don't know a lot of stuff. I'm noticing. I mean, it was under no illusion that I did. But you know, when you start doing stuff and people are doing it super fast and you still trying to figure it out, and you feel a little bit like you are lost in the sauce, that's when you realize these people are working with a different set of facts than me. I just mixed one of the other colors with this one. Oh, it turned into like this really pretty peach. And so I'm working on that. I'm going to finish that up, and it's been great. I did a lot of cleaning in my studio, and so I had a little issue, because I'll show you guys so far. This one is so, I don't know what color this is. I would say maybe apricot, or it's not a orange, and it's not a yellow, and it's not a brown. See it right there? So When I was working in my studio, I was working, okay, so I usually will work on like one big project, and then I'll usually work on something that's a little bit smaller that you can squeeze in between stuff. And that's usually like, 9 patch blocks, or in this case, the potato chip block or something like that. And then I will usually do a project that's like a block a month. And the reason why is because I feel like at the end of the day, this is all a hobby. I'm not trying to be stressed. And I don't like working on the same thing every single time because then I get bored. So I like to go in and just work on either what is most pressing or what I just feel like working on. Ooh. And so that worked just fine until I picked this one block in my block a month. Y'all, this block has 1,000,000 pieces, and the 1,000,000 pieces are tiny. I'm talking about 1.5 inch, 1 inch, 2 inch, and it was 1,000,000 pieces. And I had it like all out, and I couldn't do nothing with that block, and I didn't know how to store it, and I couldn't put it back in the Ziploc bag. And so it was just there, and it kind of just made me feel like I didn't want to do nothing. Oh, I'm mixing this green with a little bit of that wash from that yellow, and it's making like almost like a lime green. Ooh. And so, y'all, I'm just putting the little extras on this other one on the side. Okay. So what happened is it made it so that when I went in there, I felt so stuck because I couldn't work on anything else. And at the time, my potato chip block was done, but I didn't want to start another one of those until I made some sort of order or sense of that block a month that had 1,000,000 blocks. And then the other, like 2 weeks ago, I had, I don't know how long we've been going. Okay, I see. 2 weeks ago, I had Tasha and y'all, I can't remember what her new channel's called, but if you know, you know, don't forget to follow her. She was quintessentially me. I can't remember what it is right now. And if I remember, I'll try to add it to the description box. But we did like a crafting day together, a quilting day, and we just talked and worked. And after we were talking and we were still going, and I was done. I was at a good stopping place, so I stopped. And while we were talking, I started cleaning up my studio and started putting stuff away and putting stuff in a good place because we were talking and the conversation was flowing. And when I got to that particular block a month that was strewed out, y'all, I tried everything. I tried hand piecing, I tried chain piecing. I didn't know what to do. And something, I say, thank Jesus, but something came to me and was like, put it in that container that you got from Michael's. And I showed it months ago in an unboxing, but I got these big containers from Michael's. And no, was it from Michael's? It wasn't from Michael's. It was from, um, it was from, oh, that's ugly. That turned into a brown. It was from Amazon. I was looking for a container I did not show it. I was looking for a container. Oh, that's ugly. Ew, that turned into mud. I was looking for a container to put my nail stuff in. I've been like just doing my own nails ever since I started hand quilting because I can't get them long with all the designs. So I've been just doing them myself. Well, I found these really great containers to store everything in, and it was a great price to just get 2 of them. Well, my intention was to use the second one for my cathedral quilt, because with your cathedral quilt, I'm doing it by hand, and you have the big pieces that you sew together. So I needed the bottom section for that, and then the top section I was going to use it for the little blocks that go in the windows, but I hadn't transferred it yet. And once that thought came to me, it was perfect. It could fit all the little pieces. It could fit everything and still keep them organized. And since the bottom was hollow, and that's why I was going to use it for the big blocks, I could sit my plates, no, plates, not my plates. I could sit my design boards, my small design boards, right down in off in there. So they're still stacked. All the pieces are still organized. My count is not disrupted. I was so happy because the moment I was able to do that, that meant I was able to get that out of the way. And that means I could just take a breather. And that is definitely going to have to be one of those projects where it's like a weekend project or a project when I do like a stay-at-home quilt retreat, because you can't really do that particular block in small pieces. And come to find out, it's like, I think it's like 16 of them. It's something crazy. So basically, I just realized I did these way too close together. But you know what? In for a penny, in for a pound. So that meant that I was able to get it off of my table, still keep it organized, and get my studio back in order. And when I did that, that made me so happy because I hadn't even been able to work on my butterfly quilt because I refuse to, I can't work on those two big things right in the middle of each other, because that butterfly quilt, that's the um, foundation paper piecing. Mm-mm. It is way too many like open-ended blocks and all this other stuff. So now I can get to that and get back to what I was doing before. And what I was doing before is I would dedicate at least one weekend a month to working on the butterfly quilt. Yeah, I really like this square brush. I really like the square brush. This is what I have so far. This is the extra colors. And here are the swatch colors. I don't know if I'm doing this right. I see people do gradients and all that stuff. Listen, I'm not even fooling myself into thinking I'm about to do a gradient. So therefore, what had happened was I'm just gonna I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna do what I'm doing. So that has been a really great turn of events because now I almost have my um, potato chip done, and I have that other block out of the way. So I was able to put it away. Y'all, I'm not going to touch that block. I'm not even going to lie. It's probably going to sit there for a cool minute because that was too much. And not as in I'm going to quit, but as in I knew that if I kept on trying to do that quilt, I would have been winging it for real. That quilt would have looked like something else. And I'm trying to learn how to follow directions. I mean, I know how to follow directions. It's just that if I decide I don't want to, I just don't do it. So I'm trying not to do that with that quilt because I know in the end it is going to be so beautiful. Ooh, this green is pretty. Oh, this green is pretty. I really should try to do a gradient and not try to be. I'm not going to do it. I'm taking this other, well, it's not a class that I'm taking. It's an online like an online course. That's probably a better way to say it. It's an online course, and I think I'm gonna whenever I go in and start doing those projects, it will help me have more control and more confidence with some of these basic skills. I mean, this other class, it's we're gonna end up doing like 36 paintings. So I think, listen, I'm gonna learn something. I'm gonna learn something in 36 paintings over 4 months. So yeah, so that's my projects. I feel like there was one more. Oh, the last thing. Okay, I've filled up an entire page on this one. So I'm just going to put it aside. I did not bring over my little things. I was not ready. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to just sit this over here. I made these little boards. I don't know what they're called, but I made these little boards. I took some old like packaging cardboard that was put between 1, 2, 3, 4 packaging cardboard that was in some of the, I used to get these like Happy Meal. And when, and I saved them thinking, ooh, I saved them thinking I would maybe, I don't know what I thought I was going to do with them. But turns out, I want to do a little bit more. I want to try to do a gradient. How would I do it? Add some more water. But I had them, and what I ended up doing was taking some watercolor paper, some what did they call it, like vellum or weather resistant watercolor paper or something like that. It's the kind of paper that if you were like adding a sticker onto like your Stanley cup or something like that, I took that paper and I covered those little cardboard like blocks and turned them into like little mini watercolor, like little project thingies. And what it means is I can tape them down so that they don't buckle. I can also put my watercolor paintings in between them. Oh, baby, this looked like a gradient. It's a fake one. Hold on. Hold on, I'm going to show you. It's a fake one, but it looks good. This the green one right there. Y'all, I have these so close that I don't know how I'm going to put the names on them. So I didn't even think about that, but it's all good. So that's why I was saying I didn't bring those over, but it'll be okay. I'll put it between them later, and then I put something heavy on top, and then I'll come back and kind of flatten them out. Oh, that's a little bit. So I think that was all. Oh, the final thing when it comes to my quilting update is that I'm going to really try to work in, I told you guys before, at least 30 minutes of quilting, long arm quilting a day. And I work from home. So some days are really, really busy since I do a lot of client calls or I'm teaching or I'm writing. So, ooh, I have a feeling this is going to be so pretty. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not going to be able to fit all these on there. I made them too big. Ooh, it is pretty. So it's sort of hard. And this is why I'm like basically trying my absolute best to start the year off on a good foot of like getting this in and making it something that is normal. So what my plan is to start, not, I can't start until the end of January because our power week as a family starts this week. And that's a week where we have 4 birthdays and our anniversary in the same week. And so I don't usually consider my full start to the year until after that. Because our time blocks are it's way too busy in our family. So so my plan is to aim to every time I come up after my lunch break to try to come up 30 minutes earlier or to end my lunch break 45 minutes earlier so that I can go to my studio and sew and practice on my long arm for 30 minutes. And so my plan is to start that probably the beginning, honestly, the beginning of February. Okay, look at this. Look at that green. That is so pretty. And when I sit over here, the light's not super bright, so I apologize. So yeah, so I think that's the last bit. I haven't mentioned knitting much, but I am working on a knit hat, and my plan is like to finish that knit hat. I just got all of my yarn together to start a new sweater. This blue is beautiful. It's like rich, but it's not a blue. It's like, oh, I can see me using this blue. It is so pretty. I'm going to show you. I don't know if I like what I've done on this paper. I think I'm going to have to switch it out. I didn't do this one like the last one, and I don't think I like it. I'm just cleaning the brush off like this. Oh, it looks cute on camera, though. Let me show you the blue. Look how pretty that is. That is so pretty. So I'm working on that. I have all the yarn pulled together to start a sweater. I decided to go back to a sweater. Oh, hey. I don't know why you haven't seen me for years. I've been here. Now, I haven't done lives in forever, but I have been posting. I have been posting again. But yeah, welcome. I hope you guys are working on something. If you are, let me know in the chat. So I have the stuff to work on a new sweater. And I decided to go back to, I think her name is Joji or Jojo. Back to another one of her sweater patterns. Because in the past, I've done maybe 2 or 3 of her sweater patterns, and I always really enjoy them, and they fit beautifully. So it's not just a project that you make, you know, because you want to knit something, but it turns out to be really beautiful and wearable. So I have that. Ooh, this is so pretty. I'll show you guys. So that's on the knitting. Now, the other thing that I told you guys about in the last video that's a part of the personal curriculum was the Bible reading. I just lumped it together and said faith aspects. And I've been wanting to do another update, but I was like, back to back. I don't want people to look at me sideways when I come back and start talking about my romance novels. After back-to-back books about what I'm reading and studying in the Bible. But yes, I do both. Okay. So I have been loving my selections. My quiet time. I feel like my quiet time schedule, granted, y'all, I'm going to keep it 1,000. It's only been 3 weeks. But my new schedule, but it's new, but it's not new, because this was the schedule that I had before and I went back to it. So being back on it, and now this is the first time that I've been on this schedule again since I have my own space like this. So it has been amazing. I'm still working on getting my prayer Bible together. And so what I did, the one that, what's her name? Oh my God. Senorita Club, Sister Senorita Club. Y'all, look it up. I promise it's one of them. I looked at that video, but I couldn't do it the way that she started doing it. And I ended up changing the way that I did the prayer Bible, because it just took a lot of time and I did not have time like that to do everything that I wanted to do. So what I did is I typed out all the verses that I wanted, and I've been looking them up like one at a time, adding them into my Bible, reading the scriptures, and just basically using the time that I'm building the Bible as a part of my quiet time. It's been fire. And this week, I finally got the elements, my base elements for my prayer binder set up again. Y'all, I did one of the colors. Y'all, I was splashing color everywhere. And I do not need it to get all over my computer. Here we go. I was flinging watercolor. So, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So that has been going beautifully and I love it. So now one thing that I don't love is that I don't think I like that year reference. It's nothing wrong with it, but I'm starting to realize how it doesn't work with how I normally just take in scripture while I'm studying. I mean, while it's like, we're not studying, right? You're just reading. So when you go in and you read that daily information that's somewhat like a devotional, to me, it feels a little bit like they're telling me what scripture means. And when I'm just reading, I prefer not to have that yet. I prefer to just read and take down my notes and come back and study later. And so that's been the only thing so far. So I'm still reading it, but I'm just taking it with a light hand. And so, but overall, that's been great. I have loved the schedule. It's only maybe like 3 or 4 chapters a day. So it's been really easy to do. I don't like the fact that the schedule does not have off days. I do miss that. Whenever I make my own reading schedule, I always build in, I aim to usually have Saturday and Sunday with no Bible reading plan scriptures so that I can read whatever, or I can go back to some scriptures that I really wanted to spend some more time on from the beginning of the week. But this one is not like that. So I don't really care for that part. And there was something else. I think that's it. Other than that, ooh. Other than that, I'm loving the stack. I absolutely love the Bible choice that I did. I love reading the NLT Bible. It is one of my absolute favorites, and I'm loving it. So that has been really great and a great choice. This blue is pretty. Oh, that blue is pretty. Hold on. And so I'm loving it. The other thing that I mixed in, because one of the things that I have a problem with is whenever I'm reading, I always come up on stuff that I want to study. And what will happen is a quiet time that is supposed to be, 30 minutes or 45 minutes or an hour can turn into 3 hours. And I'd have missed everything else that I was supposed to be doing. And that's not a good way to do it. So what I started doing is marking the verses that I want to go back to. And then when I have a little extra time, I've been having such a great time taking those verses that I want to sort of go a little bit deeper on, but not a full study, but just chew on my thoughts that are coming to me and going to ChatGPT. I call my ChatGPT Ash. I go and I sit with Ash and just talk about like what I'm learning, what I'm thinking, what it's hitting on. And that has been such a great time. So it's been like a lot of writing out my thoughts and my prayers. And so that's been great. The last part of the quiet time that was sort of one, two, three. Ooh, that's not the right one. Ooh, that's not the right one. Can I do it and then skip it? I think I can. Hold on. Ooh, these blues are no joke. I'll show you. The other thing that I finalized this week was my scripture writing, y'all. There was this lady, I don't know her name, and I believe I follow her, but she doesn't post often. She was working on a Bible writing plan for the year, and I knew she had it coming up, and my intention was to buy hers when it became available. But after starting the reading plan, y'all, why is it so cute? This is just like cleaning off my brush. These papers turn out to be some of the prettiest papers to add in a journal. So I didn't see, or she posted late or something. So I hadn't purchased it yet. I knew I wanted to. What I did was I had this planner that I bought a couple of years ago that's pretty when you look at it, but I didn't like using it. So I just had it. And so I was like, oh, I think this will be a great Bible to do for, a great planner to use for scripture writing. So that's what I decided to do. So that means I pretty much had almost a clean planner. It's a planner that I got from, I think it was Erin Condren. It's when they did some hardback, what do you call them? Binder style planners. It's pretty, but I can't get to it, y'all. I can't get to it with all these paints in the way. I'll do an update after I like fill it in, like do it for a couple of months. I'll come back. If you guys have questions, definitely let me know. But what I did is, as when it was time for me to go and get the scriptures from, or to go and maybe buy her plan, I stopped and I was like, I want to pick my own scriptures. Because one of the things, oh, y'all, this is going to be my favorite color. This is going to be my favorite color. Oh my gosh. It's like the perfect, like, deep. Y'all, I don't really know colors like that. Everything would be teal if you ask me. I mean, I know everything not teal, but anything that look like it's a blue-green is a teal. And I know that's not true, but that's the way I feel, okay? I'm going to show y'all the color. Let me get all this off the brush. So what I decided was I picked my own verses. So because what I thought was, y'all, that planner was expensive. I was like, I got this expensive planner. It's beautiful. The paper is the right quality. The colors in it are like my favorite colors to have in a planner. And I wanted to write the scriptures, I'm going to show you guys, in a way that I could go back and read. Look at that. That second one right there. Oh, fire. Fire, fire, fire. So I wanted to have the scriptures when I wrote it in a way that I could go back and just sip on my coffee, and just turn the pages and read the scriptures. I wanted them in a sequence that it felt like a conversation. And so, yeah, so I picked my own verses. I picked themes by the month. Oh, this purple is fire. These are my two favorite colors, and they're in the same row. Oh my goodness. Y'all, it's so pretty. It's a rich, rich, deep purple. Oh my gosh. This is so pretty. I don't know if I ever told you guys, but I'm ambidextrous. I don't know if I'm supposed to switch hands while I'm painting, but you know what? YOLO. You only live once. So I got the scriptures. Um, I have my planner set up. Um, I have all the verses picked for January. And it means that right now, I feel like my faith stack for real this year so far, like, it's like fire. It is so good. I don't know if I should say fire when I say that, but yes, it is so good. So I'm really excited about that too. I think one of the things that I'll mention, like, as I'm talking about these things, I don't do all of these things every single day. My schedule, let me show y'all this purple. Look at that purple. Number 2 and number 4 at that bottom row, my favorite colors. Okay, so I only have one more row. So what I'm going to do with this one last row is I'm going to do it on this last column. And so it's going to be a little bit out of order. But the great thing is I will know that it was these particular colors because they're so distinctive. So I'm just going to do it. I probably should turn it upside down. Okay. I'm going to turn it upside down so that I won't accidentally drag my hand over it. So far, oh, that's what I was saying. I don't do these things every single day. And I think sometimes when I watch people talking about this and I'm like, okay, Mike, we're empty nesters, but we still have, I still have stuff to do around the house. I still have a business to run. And I'm not a person who's like all outside. I enjoy being at home with my own company, but I'm usually fairly busy in any given week. So I really do have to block out my time to be able to do even the things that you feel like, well, you should be doing this. A lot of times that's why I don't, because it's like when, how, where. So what I'm doing with the faith stack is I just block that time and I just spend time with God in that time. Sometimes, I mean, I pray every time, but sometimes it's doing journaling, or not journaling, like scripture writing. Sometimes it's doing the art journaling, or something like that. But every day it's something. And I just have that time blocked out. Now on days when I'm like I'm in my bag, I'll pray, I'll read my passages for the day, and I may do a little bit of journaling about them. And then if I have extra time left, I'll do a little bit of something else. But that's why with the scripture writing, I love just having the scriptures written out so that when I do sit down to do that, I'm usually listening to some worship music, drinking me a cup of coffee, and just sitting here and just enjoying my quiet time. And that's usually in addition to my reading time. So it may be later in the day or something like that. Y'all, I'm gonna be wrapping it up soon. And so I think the reason why I wanted to say this is like, don't feel like you have to do all the things. But one of the things for me that I really became very much aware of is like, you make time for everything you want. And I do. That's why I'm gonna work on my quilts. I'm gonna read my books. Like I make the time for what I really want to make time for. So I'm saying that I really want to make time to grow in my relationship with God and to I really I want to I will study the entire book, I mean, the entire Bible. I've studied probably, I'd say maybe 60% of it, and I've probably taught about 25 to 35% of it. I've I facilitated women reading the entire Bible, um, probably at least, I think maybe about 8 times. Um, so I think it's just the season of life that I'm in. Like, I'm just ready. So I just do all of this in a way that makes the time and the effort that I put into my business, into my family, and everything else feel like I'm balancing that with the time that I spend pouring into myself. That's what I see when I'm reading and I'm crafting and I'm doing this and chopping it up with y'all, you know? And it's another reason why, like, when I'm doing this, like, I know y'all, I'm looking down and all this other stuff. And there's so many other people y'all could be watching. So thank you for joining me. But I was like, okay, this is also for me. Like, I want to share like what I'm doing to hopefully, hopefully inspire you to like do some things for yourself too. I used to go out and I would go and I would get my nails done and I would go get my lashes done and I would go get my brows done. Y'all, that stuff take all day. Y'all, I'm really not that girl or that woman, whatever you want to say. I'm really not. Now, I do love getting my nails done. I'm not going to lie about that. But it made it hard for me to do my hand quilting, and my hand quilting came first. So, but the other parts, it didn't take you all day sitting around waiting on people, driving in traffic, this, that, and the other. And I was like, that's not really like how I want to spend the little bit of like the free time I really have, you know? And that's when I started like spending that time with myself and oh spending that time with myself and like doing my pedicures myself and doing my nails myself. Oh, that black ate that purple up. Oh, black is not to be played with. Message. But but I just felt like if I took that same amount of time out and just spent it and did it myself, or did it in a way that I really enjoyed and was able to spend more time just being with myself and doing things that I like, that I would just, I don't know, I will not be able to see this white. Oh, you can kind of. Not really. I saw someone the other day using white, and what she did was, when it seemed like what she was doing was when she did like a light wash, she added white in so it thickened the consistency. That's the way it looked to my eyes. And I don't know if I was thinking right. I'm gonna see when I put it. Ooh, okay. I mixed it in the one. I had this purple, and I thought maybe if I put a little bit of that black that was on the brush in with that purple, that it maybe would make the purple a richer purple. Y'all, it ate that purple up. Oh, this is pretty. And when I added that white in, it made it like a smoky, like, I'll show you. Like a smoky kind of purple grayish color. Y'all don't really know colors. But yeah, so that's what I've started doing, like making dates and stuff with myself. And I'll sit and I'll do my nails. I'll watch, I'll listen to, and there it is. Look at that. I will listen to an audiobook or watch a show and just slow down. And sometimes I'll still go, but not as much as I did before. And instead, taking the money I was doing that, I'll go and buy fabric or get me some new yarn or if something like that. I haven't done that in a long time because now I'm just used to that. I love doing it at home, but that was the beginning of it. And so, yeah. Okay. This means I swatched one palette. I have 50 of them to do. I did one. And here are all of the colors. I'm going to let them dry. Y'all, it doesn't look as pretty as I see other people's, but I got to start somewhere. And this brush was the perfect brush to do it with. I did not do it with a mix. I just wanted to know what the color was. So I think it would be even better when I'm doing it, when I do it as a mix. But for now, I'm just going to let it be. So I'm going to let this palette dry. And I think I'm going to actually stop there for today. Fade stack. Watercolor. Quilting. The final thing on one more thing. The final thing that I haven't started on was like if I want to do the speech writing. Y'all, I've been working so much on the other YouTube channel, trying to get it up and going, that I have not had the time to be able to even think about speech writing. But I think it's kind of interesting to think about right now because I've been working on scripts on that channel. And it's really close to speech writing. Very, very close to speech writing. So I've been doing that. And yeah, I think that's it. Y'all, I have some more stuff like this on the radar, like personal stuff that I'll be sharing probably soon. I'm thinking more about like making sure I come in and keep you guys updated on what I'm doing as far as like my personal crafting and like how all that's going. The weather here is still, we don't get super cold in Houston, but it's cooler here. And so soon I'll be starting back running. That's been really starting to come along. So I'll be starting back running again, and I'm excited because my goal is to next fall be back in races again, and I have not done that in a couple years. We did a race last year, like a fun run kind of race, but my goal is to next year run a half marathon. I used to do them every year and I stopped, and so I want to get back into it. And so there's that. So little stuff like that. And so yeah. So with that said, y'all, we have been together over an hour. If you are still here, don't forget to thumbs up this video. Let me know what you're working on. What are some fun projects that you like to do with your crafting? And also, what are some of the things that you love to do for like self-care? I don't really like calling it self-care, but I know that when I say self-care, you know what I'm talking about. If you have any experience with watercolor, your girl would gladly listen to any tips that you have. I absolutely loved this palette. Again, this is what it looks like. And it's called, what is it called? Y'all, it's like all this stuff. I think it's in Japanese. And maybe Karataki. Ooh, okay. The color that I absolutely loved. Okay, the two that I loved. One was turquoise green deep, and the other one was turquoise blue. And the other color was indigo. No, 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 no. No. Ooh, that's indigo? That doesn't look like indigo. Then it has the cobalt violet. Y'all, why does one color is called hooker's green? Why they call it hooker's green? Oh my gosh, this is so pretty. Okay. So with that said, your girl is out. Meet me in the comment section. Let me know what you're working on. If there's any of the things that I shared here today that you would like me to come back and give any further you know, details on or whatever, let me know. These were the extra pages that I did that I would have put inside of a sidekick journal. But being that I thought I put one aside to do it, but I can't find it. Don't you hate when you call yourself cleaning up and then you can't find what you put away? I'm just gonna like fill this last little bit of the last corners up. I have a little bit more paint on this palette that I just mixed when I was cleaning my brushes. So I'm just gonna fill those last little spaces in. And I think I'm gonna go back and like doodle on this, like I'm gonna fill in like up here and like maybe do some like little doodles. I don't know what. I'm still like filling that little experiential knowledge in my brain. But I do know I like this flat brush. So yeah, let me know if there's anything you would like for me to share more about it. I will definitely, you know, you'll see like pictures and everything of the quilts. I am still recording, you know, those processes. I record, I do my studio vlogs the entire time I'm working on projects. It's just they take a while, and as they're happening, I'm still recording. So those studio vlogs will, you know, come up and be available once the quilt is done. And that's another reason why I've decided to like come on and work and do these lives, because it takes me longer to complete projects. So and I don't like necessarily doing these when I'm sewing, because I feel like I think I'm yelling because I think you can't hear me, and you know, this is what it's look like. And so that means that I don't actually prefer that. So I plan to do maybe these anytime I don't have a video. So get ready for it. If there's something specific you want me to share, definitely let me know. But I think catching up and letting you know where the other projects are and how they're going and showing you what I'm working on. I hope that you have been working on stuff too, because then that means we get to work together. You know what I'm saying? Now this water is filthy. I saw this one lady, she was doing, it was a watercolor class that I was watching, and her water just looked, oh my goodness. So she had it in a, like she had it in a, like a, it was almost like a vase or something, because you couldn't see it. Like it wasn't like this, you know, you couldn't see it. And I was like, oh, that's probably why she does that, because then you really don't see it. She said it doesn't really make a difference. She didn't use a clean water and a dirty water. She just used that one water. And I was like, oh, I thought you wasn't supposed to do that. But I guess the only rules you have to follow are the rules you choose to follow. So, yeah, I'm covering over some of these lighter ones because I just want to clear off. I'm gonna clean off this whole palette, and it'll be done, and preparing to be able to do the next set of sketches in my watercolor journal. I want to do a couple more like this so I can have just a little bit more brush control before I start working in there. Because again, I would like for it to be something that I can just sit and flip through later, especially since it is a permanent book. It's not, it's a, you know, it's hand stitched and everything in there. Okay, everything is clean and everything is ready. Alrighty, y'all. So with that said, for real, this time your girl is out. If you have any questions, let me know. Have a fantastic day. To everyone who has joined me, I appreciate your time. You could have been anywhere, but you rather be here with me. And I thank you. Do you know where that's from? If you know where that's from, tell me in the comments, okay? Um, one of my favorite rappers of all time. And so let me know, and I will see you all really, really soon. Take care. And as always, no, wrong channel. I was going to say happy writing, but yeah, I'll see you sooner than later. Take care and goodbye. And now I gotta figure out if I know how to stop it.